here to talk about the food safety and the 28th Amendment. So first, just to give a quick background, there are approximately 13,500 chemical manufacturing facilities in the United States. Facilities are located all over the country in Texas, Ohio, New Jersey, Illinois, Louisiana, Pennsylvania, and the Carolinas. The chemical sector is composed primarily of small companies with more than 89% employing 500 or fewer employees, and the chemical industry is an essential contributor to the United States economy with shipments valued at about $555 billion per year. Alright, so do Americans eat more processed foods than other countries? The United States has embraced the trend toward commercialized, prepackaged food more than any other country. Compared to their counterparts in nearly all other countries, Americans eat 31% more packaged foods than fresh foods. And just to give an example, when it talks about commercialized, meaning commercials, if you haven't saw like behind the scenes of like a Subway commercial or like a soda commercial, they use fake eyes or like fake lettuce, stuff like that to make the food look better and last longer. Yeah. What role does the government play in this chemical food process? Health insurance has gone up, which the government has to pay Food and Drug Administration, which is the FDA, which we all probably heard of before, and the United States Department of Agriculture, which are two of the main agencies that regulate food in the U.S. They are both responsible for the safety of food nationwide. And just a little more information, the USDA was founded in 1862 by Abraham Lincoln. We often think that industries alone are to blame for the market failures, but it's really the government that plays in regulating different markets. Also, when Congress passed the Pure Food and Drug Act and the Meat and Inspection Act in 1906, the USDA began to play a more prominent role. There have been several changes in American health. For example, the obesity rate in the United States is more than one-third, and type 2 diabetes, which is often caused by poor eating habits and a lack of exercise and health care, cost and an increase in government involvement that have led to a debate about how much the government should be involved in preventing chronic health problems by guiding a better diet so that people can stop being obese and start eating healthier. Several public health advocates believe that government should play a significant role in improving nutrition, and recent efforts show that the government agrees. Recently, the White House declared obesity a national priority. So, the causes and consequences of these chemicals that are in our food. Chemicals are an essential building block for everything in the world. We should all know that all food is made up of chemical substance. Chemical compounds within foods are largely harmless and often beneficial. For instance, carbohydrates, proteins, fats, and fiber are composed of chemical compounds which we need on a daily basis. And all of these elements are naturally present in our diets and are contributed to a healthy diet. Some chemicals, however, possess a variety of toxicological properties that may cause harm to humans and animals. Usually these are not harmful unless we are exposed to them for a long time and at high levels. For example, eating the same foods over and over and over again. So even though it might be healthy, we're eating a large portion of it, which causes it to not be healthy. So food preservation and production can be greatly influenced by chemical substances. Food additives such as colors and flavoring are used to make food more appealing and tastier. For example, foods with food additives have a longer shelf life. However, tastier food is not necessarily healthier food. And we're going to talk about additives in a second. So, despite evidence suggesting that most additives and preservatives themselves do not cause cancer, it is important to remember that obesity is a major cause of cancer and many other diseases. In general, processed foods contain more additives and should be consumed less frequently because they tend to be less healthy. Whole fresh foods are the healthiest option These foods are free from additives and reduce the risk of cancer and other lifestyle diseases. And just to give an example, if you take My 600-Pound Life, the TV show, they eat and eat and eat. Even if it's unhealthy food, like they're still eating a large portion of that additive and preservative processed food, which is not healthy. So then just to get in some of the chemicals that are in our food, which is sodium nitrate and sodium nitrite, it enhances the color and flavor. Nitrites and nitrates are added to processed meats and preservatives. Generally, processed meats are colored pink or red in eating cold. And as a result of this, nitrates have been linked to bowel cancer, which is one of the most common cancers in men and women, causing people to die and have serious illnesses. Globally, obesity has reached epidemic proportions with at least 28 million people dying as a result of being overweight or obese each year. Low and middle income countries have now been experiencing obesity, a problem once associated with high income countries. It is the responsibility of the government, Supreme Court, federal, state, international partners, civil society, non-governmental organizations, as well as private sectors to prevent things like this from happening, because they have a say so in what gets sent into the country, state, about what we eat. So yeah. So just to give an example on exactly what I'm talking about, California has this rule called Prop 65. Prop 65 requires business to provide warnings to Californians about significant exposures to chemicals that cause cancer, birth defects, or other reproductive harm. These chemicals can be in the product that Californians purchase in their homes, workplaces, or that just are released into the environment. So, what does a warning mean? If a warning is placed on a product label or posted or distributed at a workplace, a business, or in rental housing, the business issuing the warning is aware or believes that it is exposing individuals to one or more listed chemicals. By law, a warning must be given for listed chemicals unless the exposure is low enough to pose no significant risk or cancer. So, who enforces Proposition 65? Basically, the California State Attorney General Office does. And by law, filing a lawsuit against a business alleged to be in a violation of this law is proposed. Lawsuits have been filed by the Attorney General's Office, district attorneys, consumer advocacy groups, and private citizen law firms. Some solutions we can take into this food safety rule is becoming vegetarians, basically meaning not eating processed foods, so basically meat and all that, which goes into my next solution, which is choosing healthier processed food options. Another option is to have the government invest in certain markets to make food more healthier, basically keeping the same foods, just figuring out a way to make it healthier, which is kind of hard, but the government is going to have to take its time, put money and all that into doing that if they want to make it right. And my last solution is having people propose a vote on whether they want processed or whole foods, and the state can ratify it. So then some additives that are harmful. We may know some of these, we might not, but basically, so the first one, which is the sweetener, refined and equal. So basically, what we put in like coffee and stuff like that. Vegetable oil, salt, of course, artificial food coloring. Another one is stevia, which is a low calorie sugar. And the last one, I don't know how to say it, but it is artificial sweetener. Again, which we think is healthy, so we choose to use a lot of it, and then in result, it becomes not healthy anymore because we use too much of it.